I'm so humbled by the response to this book, and I hope that I can help everyone become their best self.
I love what I do because I think seeing people change is remarkable.
Why did you write this book? Other than I talked you into it. I did, because I wanted him to share it with everybody.
Best Self is about helping people identify their problems, break free of their barriers, and get the life they want and deserve. And I was just doing it on a one-on-one basis with folks, and to be able to now have everything that I've done with people one-on-one in this book will allow me to help millions of people be their best selves. I'm your life coach in the book. And so by the end of the book, you'll be your own life coach. Because the goal is eventually to find that coach within and not need someone outside of yourself to help you.
Right, but you start out being their coach because I've read this. It's very action-oriented, and I've actually, you can see I've kind of marked this up a fair amount. What you do in here is you identify action steps, because think about it, guys, when you want to change, the first thing you do is you sit down and you go, well, where do I start? Willpower is a myth, right? It's not about willpower. It's not about emotion.
Willpower is a myth. You need the right tools, and we all have blind spots. And so what Best Self does is it helps you find your blind spots so you can really live the life you deserve.
You break the self down into two different parts, and this is what I want you to really listen to. You say there is a best self and another kind of self. Talk about that.
So I believe everyone at an authentic level is their best self. A best self is not codependent. A best self is not negative. A best self is pure, loving, honest, how we were created by God and put on this earth. That is our best self. Our anti-self is a story we've created over time, and we start to get characteristics of that. So for Chad, there's a codependent version of Chad that's getting in the way of his best self.
It starts with honesty, right?
You have to be honest to be your best self. I think the first step in what you say about honesty is how do we get you realigned with being your best self? Because that needs to start. We don't create relapses, we can't control what people do, and we can't change other people. We can only do that for ourselves.
There are 7 spheres that he talks about here. And Mike, when you look at these right now, the things that you and I talked about is you're talking about the relationship sphere and you're talking about the personal sphere. Because right now, you're not being honest in either of those 2 spheres, correct?
Chad's not being honest in either of those 2 spheres.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
And it's hard because why?
Through sickness and in health, when I said my vow, it's really hard.
What do we always say? Early intervention. That's the important thing, right? It's so important, early intervention. That's why you talk so much about honesty. Best self starts with being honest with yourself, because you can't change it if you don't tell yourself the truth.
You can't change it, and there's nowhere to go. You know, if we're not starting our foundation with being honest about ourselves and the people that are around us, the coaching session's done, because there's nowhere to go.
Lindsay insists that she is sober. And is Chad really willing to reclaim his best self, stop living in denial, and stand up to his wife in order to protect his son? That's all about living your best self. That's why I said this book was written with Chad in mind. So we're going to find out what happens after the break.
My husband's whole family doesn't give me the support that I need to fully recover. They are constantly criticizing me, judging me. They don't understand what I'm going through at all.
And later,
You have sitting in front of you someone that's been in recovery for so long. And did you say it's about choice?
But Chad, you got to understand, I'm lucky because everyone did not enable me. And what you're doing is you're enabling their life right now, and it's making it worse.
When she moved back in the house, I told Lindsay that you got to prove yourself. There were some guidelines that she had to follow. She has to be 100% sober. I will do a surprise search of her belongings, her purse, coat, Lindsay's phone, whatever it may be. Just she needs to understand that she can't be hiding anything. Lindsay cannot even drink alcohol